So we got an update to the Commander 1v1 ban list today, July 5th, 2017. It's effective pretty much immediately because they announced it during the downtime, and it becomes effective as soon as the downtime is over. So they are splitting Commander and Commander 1v1 into two different formats. I guess you can still play the decks across the two formats if you wanted to, but they recommend that you don't. So it's probably, we'll see what it looks like in the client when the downtime is over, but my guess is it's still going to stack your decks together for the two formats, but you won't be able to play one based on the ban list and the format that you choose when you actually go into the play mode. So we'll see what that looks like. So that's an interesting change. We knew that was coming, but they also added some cards to the ban list. So Vial Smasher the Fierce has been banned. So I have long advocated this one. I think he does too much in the format, and he does too much incidental damage. Makes it really hard to race Vial Smasher, and if you can't remove it, which the deck plays a ton of disruption to keep you from being able to remove it, it is really hard to get around Vial Smasher, and he's been dominating the format for quite some time. I think this was a real strong move by Wizards to finally ban Vial Smasher the Fierce. I think this was a good move, and I really think it'll strengthen the health of the format. I liked playing with Vial Smasher the Fierce. It's a fun deck, but I also like playing other decks, and the format was kind of warped around Vial Smasher. And I think this is a real good change. So an interesting note is they also banned a bunch of blue cards, which I did not expect any of these cards to be banned. They said that color balance isn't really a driving force, but card balance and format balance was what drove this. And so they decided to ban Ponder, Preordain, and Brainstorm. Three of the premier card selection cards in blue. And so that's interesting. I don't know how much that's going to change the format. It will definitely slow down some of the blue decks a little bit. So we'll see how that plays out. I did not expect those cards to be banned. But here we are. And then lastly, Treachery was banned. So Treachery, I didn't expect this one to be banned either. It's a really great card. It's a huge tempo swing, especially that you get to untap 5 lands. So now people are going to have to play Control Magic or Legacy's Lure. They still get a tempo boost, but it's not as huge of a tempo boost as getting a free steal your creature. Now, you're down a creature, I'm up a creature, it cost me no mana. So I think this was a good change. I didn't expect it to happen, but I think this will definitely help the health of the format a little bit. Treachery was a very, very powerful card, and even blue decks playing against each other, it was kind of a deciding factor in a lot of those games. And the fact that you can steal a commander and then they can't do much about it, so it's interesting. But it's banned now. So they also unbanned some cards because they split the format. So a lot of the multiplayer only cards that they banned because of multiplayer, they decided to bring back in. So Biorhythm is clearly broken in multiplayer. Not as broken because it cost 8 mana. In single player, you might be able to kill somebody for 8 mana, but that's not that great in 1v1 Commander. Limited Resource prevents land drops. Clearly very broken in Commander, where you get at most 10 lands and nobody can play spells for only 1 mana, or nobody can play lands for only 1 mana. It's a lot more fair in 1v1, but it still seems pretty powerful, so it might actually see some play. Painter's Servant is a combo piece in a lot of decks. And I think we will definitely see this, of all the cards, I think we will definitely see Painter's Servant. People will be trying to play this sometime very soon now that it's unbanned. So look for that. It's cheap enough it's good. I think this is the one that people are really going to try and make work in the format now that it's unbanned. And then lastly, Trade Secrets, which, allowed an infinite loop in multiplayer Commander, because two players can basically draw their decks if they had an agreement or something like that, while the other two players just sit there and lose. So you don't get that benefit in 1v1 Commander. So I don't know if people will be playing this, giving your opponent 2 cards in exchange for 4, and then they're probably not going to repeat the process. It seems alright. Maybe somebody will try to play it. Maybe in combo decks or something like that. Hard to say. But giving your opponent disruption in your combo deck, you might be drawing them into Force of Will or something like that. It seems like it probably won't see much play. Painter's Servant will probably see play. It'd be interesting to see if the other 3 cards see play. Limited resources, maybe. But stopping at 5 lands doesn't really do that much. And, green decks might try to play Biorhythm, but there's still the counterspell threat. So, the decks that Biorhythm's going to be good against are the ones without a lot of creatures, and a lot of those are playing counterspells and removal and stuff like that. So it seems like probably not for 8 mana. So it's interesting to see. So there's the ban list update for July 5th, 2017. Some interesting changes. Very glad to see Vial Smasher banned. I would still like to see the Moxen banned. I think they create too much. They're just, if you've ever had a Brawl dropped on you on turn 1 with a Daze or a Force of Will backup, it's just really hard to get around. Breya is really strong with Moxen as well. Jace, turn 1 Jace. It just, I think they need to be banned. Yes, they are card disadvantaged, but they give you such a huge advantage that they're played in a lot, in some of the fairer green decks, they're really good, but it's harder to offset the card disadvantage. In all the blue decks, it's just outstanding, and it's really easy to offset the card disadvantage. So I really think that the Moxen need to be banned, and I'd like to see that at some point in the future. But other than that, I think just getting Vial Smasher out of the format was a good step, and we'll see where the format goes from there. Thank you for watching.